Welcome back to Black City Coffee. In this vlog, I wanted to kind of nail down a lot of the questions and things that I had before purchasing. This is basically just going to be a complete Blkcity 1 kg setup that I have here in my own house, so that it's not going to be like the same for everybody else. I'm going to break this video up into phases or stages. So we're going to cover pre-planning, the unboxing phase, so getting it into the garage, what that was like, and then going into your seasoning roast. And so I think from these three phases that I went through was probably the most stressful. The fun part became after the seasoning roast, and where I was actually feeling confident enough to go, okay, this does this, this does that, right? So phase one, pre-planning. You're already kind of deciding that you want a 1 kilogram roaster or something a little bit more robust than say your Hot Top or your Baymore or your... This guy runs on natural gas. You can hook up into a natural gas hookup, or you can go off propane. I go off propane. I actually do have a natural gas hookup right here. It could be very easy to just hook into that, so it's something I may look into depending what I feel like. It's the normal propane tanks that you have underneath your barbecue. And the barbecue, actually, you'll need something similar, which is a propane gas regulator. And you need it to regulate at 1/2 psi. 1/2 psi. Nothing greater than that. The one that I first purchased, because I was like, oh, regulator, okay, and I went to Amazon, purchased regulator. It was like at 50 psi. So it was blowing a lot of gas into this machine, and I didn't find out until later that that was bad. So 1/2 psi regulator that you need to have so you don't blow out your machine. Space. So as you can see, we're just here in the corner of our very small garage home gym here. This table that it's sitting on is about 6 feet. Is it 6 feet? It's more like 5 feet, I think. I can get the measurements for this exactly, but it's not that big. So another thing that could be an issue for you is the width of this table is actually a tad bit too small, I'd say, to have complete clearance around the whole machine. So you see how this part of the machine is sort of sticking off over the ledge of this table. So if that's okay with you, which I think it's pretty much okay, then cool, that's fine. But what you're going to have to do later on when you plan the venting scheme is that the roaster itself and the chaff collector, the way that they have set it up, they don't sit on the same plane, okay? They don't sit on the same plane. They don't align exactly. In fact, the chaff collector is just a little bit askew, a little bit off the plane that the roaster is on because of the whole venting setup here. I've made it so that they're on the same plane. However, I found out that that was not the best way for this machine to work, because you're making the machine work harder than it needs to, because I'm doing this setup here, and it's basically that piece right here, right there. It's too long, and it's not allowing the machine to run its most optimum levels. So I would just spring for the venting kit that Blkcity sells. I thought we could get around it. And we do, we're getting around it, and we've saved a lot of money. But, now that I think about it and all the stress that we went through trying to find all of the parts, I'll still list all the parts that I have if you want to do it my way and you do it like me too and save, a lot of money, probably about $800, so maybe $900. Then yeah, and you're willing to go through all that stress like we were. I'll tell you all the parts that I have here, but I would really just spring for it, because we're gonna do that eventually. That's just something to know, okay? So if you were planning on getting a table like this, which is not, it's probably about 2 feet wide. So they do give you the specs, so just try to be wise to that, okay? I think it's because we really wanted this table that adjusts, which in fact we didn't really need it to adjust. So you really could just be okay with a regular table with no adjustment, honestly. Next, Power requirements. All right, if you're hooking this up into your garage, you probably only have your standard 110 volt standard, what do you call these, outlets in your garage. What you need is a step-up transformer. I'll list the one I have there. It's a 220 step-up transformer so that you can have more power. When I first hooked this up into the regular outlet, like nothing would, the fans wouldn't turn on or anything, nothing was like on. I couldn't light anything, so it definitely needed that extra oomph, that extra power. So definitely get that if you're deciding to hook it up into your garage and you don't have that power available to you. Make sure to get all of your venting situation kind of like nailed down as much as possible. A lot of the problem that we came across was because we were trying to cut corners, it just made things so inconvenient. We don't know, like we'll just have to see when it's here. And that was just really frustrating. I mean, during that time, fortunately, we were able to kind of deal with all of these little bumps in the road of planning and getting this and buying that and going to this store and all this stuff. But like looking back, that was so annoying. So it's better to do that all beforehand and to match these parts as best you can, to really plan it out. And like I said, I'm gonna list it all out so you can see exactly what I have. I have a mixture of single wall and double wall piping here. And every time I went to Home Depot, nobody knew what the hell I was talking about in terms of venting but we made it work and we're making it work right now, so it's fine. Tools that you're gonna need before you go pick up your crate or have your crate delivered to you, if you're ordering from Blkcity, is to have a crowbar, probably some good gloves, because you're gonna be dealing with a lot of nails. They nail everything down. They use wood to secure the machine very securely. You probably need a blade, a sharp blade to cut all of and then just a means of disposal. So disposal of the crate itself, or if you have an axe, like if we had an axe, we would have chopped that guy up, used it as firewood or something. Otherwise, you're set to go. The crowbar was, in fact, very, very necessary. It wasn't the same as having just the hammer, okay? So that's pre-planning. I think I've covered everything here. Artisan. I will show you exactly what mine looks like. I'll just take a picture of it and maybe you can just map out the colors to the wires and things like this. When you hook up your Artisan to the fidget, it's a fidget reader, a temperature reader. I think that deserves a separate video in and of itself, so I'll make a separate video for that, okay? But just know, for the hookup, you can hook that up. When you get into your seasoning roast, you're not particularly going to be using Artisan. You don't really need it at that time, so I wouldn't worry too much about it going into your seasoning roast, okay? But that's in the last segment of this video. Second phase, let's talk about the unboxing. So finally, when it arrives to your home or you pick it up, again, you're gonna have your crowbar. You need at least 2 strong lifters. It was just me and my husband, and basically what my husband did was just slide that baby right off the truck onto this movable table. It's got wheels, so we just had the table meet the truck and he slid it right on. I was like, I don't even need to be here. It was dope. You got your gloves, you got your crowbar. You're carefully removing everything from the roaster, being careful not to damage the roaster. You're checking the roaster if there is any dents or flaws. You get about 5 days to notify Blkcity, to go through all the things if you need a repair or something like that. I would try to plug it in as soon as possible so you could see that everything is working for you before your time runs out, right? Before you run into any more trouble. Fortunately, everything for me was fine. As you know, if you were watching the vlog series before the machine came in, a lot of headache with the shipping, but we got it, so I'm cool. And then setting up the venting. So this was a big thing that kind of got in the way for us, but since you're watching this video, you're not gonna run into that problem. If you bought the vent kit, then I'm sure it's just a snap, snap, snap away. Otherwise, I will have this listed what I have here. Like I said, I think it's a temporary thing if you want to save money and cut corners, but it's temporary. Pay now, pay later, okay? That's kind of like what I feel is going on here, like everything in life. So that's unboxing. Make sure everything works. Notify Blkcity if you need to. Phase 3, we're getting ready for the seasoning roast. So once you have everything working, you can light the thing. I would try that as well. And you want to have a really gentle application of this when you open the valve. When you are connecting your regulator and everything like that, be sure to just follow all the standard things of when you connect a gas line. You don't want any leaks. You have your soap. They give you a little soap to check if there's any leaks. And how you do that is you just do all your connections, spray the soap, turn on the line, see if there's any bubbles. If you got bubbles, then you have a leak. Okay, that's how you do it. As long as everything's good with your gas connections and everything, no leaks and stuff like that. Get ready to schedule your seasoning roast with Adrian or whoever in Mill City, and then you'll be scheduled for a Skype call with Mill City. So how that goes down is you'll need to preheat your machine first. And so by the time they're getting on the call with you, so if your call's at 11:30 in the morning, you need to preheat your machine for a solid, I'd say 30 minutes before whoever gets on the call with you. So for example, you're turning your machine on 11, you're preheating that guy up until 11:30, ready to go, step-by-step instructions with whoever's on the phone with you. So how that works is, because I was very like, I don't know what's going on. So you hook up your gas, right? You open up your gas, you got your regulator on, you turn this on, boom, you turn on the on switch. You've got your exhaust fan at like a low. My low is 35. They have a video that could help you about what is low, medium, high setting with the lighter trick. You could check that out through Mill City's website. I have my drum speed at 50. I've checked everything. There's, everything seems good and ready to go. I turn this guy on. I wait for this PID to just read like it's a low temperature. It's probably going to be like 80 degrees or 60 degrees or something. And then I hit the roasting switch on, turn this up, and then I wait for that boom, and then it ignites, just like a barbecue. Okay, and then I'm gonna look here on this pressure, and for me, my max, because of the 0.5 psi regulator thingy, it goes to about 2.5 kPa here, and that's my max. So I put it to max because I'm warming up the machine, I'm getting it hot, and then I'm just gonna monitor it. I'm gonna stay by the machine until I reach probably, I think the manual gives you a good preheating temperature, but shoot for like 380 or something. Preheated around, they tell you some specifics or something. You can preheat it like a 400 and then come down to like a 380 when you're ready to do your seasoning roast or something like that, okay? I kind of don't remember anymore. But you can monitor your temperature here on the PID and closing this valve and opening the valve whenever you need to. One very important thing you need to have by you when you're doing this is a squeeze bottle. And I would put this guy on a stream, like not a spray, but a stream, okay? And then if you get too hot in your seasoning roast, you can just take out the dryer, spray a couple in here, and watch the PID as the temperature goes down. So it's very important to have that by so that you don't have it get too hot. Here's the thing. It has a fail-safe. So at 450, I believe, is the fail-safe. It will just shut off. So we really don't want to do that because we want to maintain the temperature of around, say, 400 if you're preheating, right? And it's your first roast. And letting that heat up. As you kind of move and go, this is how I've been doing it. I'm sure there's a better way. That's why I'm going to go to a class and all this stuff and keep refining my skills with my machine. But this is how I've been doing it, is I heat this up to about a 400. I'll turn the valve down to say as low as I need to sort of maintain that temperature. So I don't want to reach that temperature too quickly because then it'll be really hard to come down and maintain a temperature. So like I said, I power up to about 2.5 kPa here. And then as I reach about like 300 or something like this on the PID, I come back down and come back down so I can sort of maintain a hot temperature without going too drastically up, without rising too high up, if that makes sense. All the while, we're preheating for a solid, say 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes to preheat. You're on now your call with Blkcity. Now they're gonna walk you through. They're like, okay, what temperature you at? They're gonna walk you through the whole thing, and it's really nice. Then you can really ask any fine-tuning questions with whomever you're on the phone with, and they'll just walk you through it, and it's so nice to know that there's somebody else on the line. In the manual, they said it's best to have 2 people. I couldn't do that, like my husband was working, so it was just me, but I felt fine. I felt confident with, who was on the line with me? Nick? I think Nick was on the line with me, so I felt very confident and comfortable and safe with him being there on the line, and I'm telling him exactly what's going on with my setup and what's going on and everything like that. Oh, another thing, there is an alarm here, and it will always sound at 350 degrees, always. It's just a big loud beep. So it's okay to put some tape over that or to dampen that sound. You'll still hear it. It's really just a safety precaution to never leave the roaster when it's on. So I just put some black duct tape on it to dampen the sound, and it's fine. Another thing too that I didn't realize when I first plugged in my machine, because things weren't really working all that well, was the emergency button right here was pressed. So I didn't realize that it was already pressed, and so like nothing was turning, you know, fans weren't working or anything like that. So all I had to do was turn this and like pop it back out. Okay, timing of your call. If you're at home like me, to me it was really important for nobody to come up and like ask me a bunch of questions or nosy neighbors or anything like that. I really just want to roast in peace, and I want to be very focused on what I'm doing because I don't want to burn my house down. So I do it on days where I did it on a day that was a weekday. It ended up becoming like the afternoon, which was not a great idea because all these flies came into the garage and everything, because I have to open the garage to vent, of course. Try to find a day that nobody's around so you can just make mistakes and not like freak anybody out that you're gonna do something crazy or something, like, you know, freak somebody else out, especially if you're at home. To be like a nosy neighbor, kind of like, well, they don't even know what they're doing. I'm gonna call somebody on them or something like that. That would just be so annoying. My roast schedule is usually on a day where nobody's around. I don't like to bother anybody, and I don't want to be bothered. So I try to do it when nobody's around, never on the weekend as well. Ideally, I would love to have this in an enclosed space where the venting is professionally done. It goes out the wall, it's proper vent and all this stuff. But maybe later down the line. For now, it's okay. We're not running a big production over here. So I'm kind of like making decisions where whatever the situation is right now, that's how we're going to act. So it's a come what may sort of thing. Be prepared for making mistakes. Be just aware that, you know, you're not going to be professional the first time you do this. It's your first time, so give yourself some patience. Take your time with stuff. Don't rush through stuff. Read things over. Do it twice. Look it over twice. Measure it twice. And just try to be as sure as possible. And, you know, if you're getting a machine like this, there's no harm in really taking your sweet time until things are up and running. And feel good and confident that you know what every little thing is, okay? You can buy your seasoning beans and everything. They're gonna go right in the trash, but you can get them from Blkcity. They're about $10 for 10 pounds. Have a shop vac ready to vacuum all the chaff in the chaff collector so that you can have a nice clean setup. But otherwise, that's it. If I've missed anything, feel free to ask me in the comments and I'll answer you there. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.